Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm just gonna do like a chatty get ready with me. I'm not really getting ready for anything, just doing like makeup playtime, I guess. Yeah, I just wanted to like get my fingers in some makeup today, so that is what we're doing. I have like a really, well, first of all, my hair is crazy right now. I apologize. I went to bed with it wet. I'm not going anywhere. Like, I'm not going anywhere for a few days, so it doesn't matter. Um, it is what it is. I have like a crazy setup right now. If you saw my last couple of videos, I'm traveling right now. I'm filming on my phone, and the last time I filmed, where like I was in, like my face was on screen, which was like back in January. I filmed it with the front-facing camera, and my phone does like an automatic beauty filter, which I don't want that in my videos. So I'm trying to film with the back camera, but then I don't have like a viewfinder, so I have like a palette open behind my phone to see what's going on. But then I'm filming in front of a window, so the like the light from the window is the light from the window is reflecting off of the screen and into the mirror, so I can't really see what's going on in the, like, I can't really see anyway, so yeah. So I'm traveling. I don't really have like a mirror either. I just have, the best mirror I have right now is the mirror in this Kaleidos quad. This is the Glowing Iris quad. So I'm going to be using that today. What else? Yeah, sorry if the background is boring. I made my bed for the video, so yeah. What else? Before I start, I've got the Phytosurgence moisturizer on. That's my kind of daily moisturizer right now. I'm putting on the Milani Fruit Fetish lip oil. I really like this. It tastes good as well as just smells good. I have the raspberry peach flavor or scent, or both, I guess. This is doing a better job of moisturizing my lips than like the little lip balm I have, like the kind of traditional like stick form, and the what I bought to be like my lip mask. Like, this is doing better than both of them. So I've been going through this pretty quickly. Like, I feel like I'm like a third of the way through, and I got this like a couple of weeks ago, or maybe like 3 weeks ago now. So like I endorse this product, I guess. What else? I've used this. I don't know why I'm keeping it in the box, but I have the Tower 28 concealer. I have the shade BU. I guess I'll start putting this on while I tell you about this. So I don't have it with me, but I was going to say I have a copy of. I've been reading a lot. I have shade 3, I think, in the Fenty Eavesdrops, and I thought that was like a perfect match for me, right? I think the undertone is really good. And then I wore it out once for like a gathering with my friends. I gotta start putting this on. I wore it out once to a gathering with my friends, and we took a group photo, and I got it back, and I'm sure like we've all had this before, but I had just the rudest awakening. Like, I could see it on like where where it stopped on my neck. It was so rude. And I thought it was my perfect shade. And so basically where I'm going with this is I thought that I was the shade DTLA in this, because I was like, oh, I have my perfect Fenty shade. Now I can match concealers to this shade in store. But it's too dark. So BU is like 2 shades lighter because the shade in between is like not the right undertone for me. And I'm like, is my whole life a lie? Like, I don't know. It is a little bit light. Like I could probably go to DTLA in the deeper summer. I'm gonna use a concealer brush. This is by Quo Beauty, or I guess they call this a flat shader brush. I'm gonna try it on my concealer. I haven't actually used this with a brush before. I'm gonna try that for the first time today. I do like this concealer. I'm not really a fan of concealers actually, which I feel kind of weird about. I like this concealer though. So I'm kind of trying to keep it lower down and avoid like these creases here. I feel like I put maybe too much on. The one thing about this concealer that I'm not really a fan of is that I feel like I still get a gray cast. Yeah, like as I'm blending this out, I feel like you can probably tell on the other eye. I hope you can. I think you can see what I'm doing. I feel like I still get a gray cast with this, and like I think that would probably happen with a lot of concealers. But I don't know. I'm just because I'm not really used to wearing concealers. Like I'm not really a base makeup person. Um, Sorry, I feel like this is going like, I feel like I'm not blending this really well because I'm trying to talk at the same time. um, I'm also trying this as a eyeshadow base today. Um, yeah, so I'm not really used to wearing base products, and I'm just gonna kind of try to take some of it away from these creases here so I don't get creasing. Hopefully that'll look less strange once I have eyeshadow on. This is, like, I know that people use this kind of shape for concealer, this kind of brush shape for concealer, but I guess it would make more sense to use like the shape of like the Rare Beauty concealer brush. I think that makes more intuitive sense to me, but this is what I have, and this is what I have with me while I'm traveling right now, so that's what we're gonna use. So I think this shade is like, it's slightly brightening, but I think that the shade DTLA would be, I think that's shade 4, would be too dark for my under eyes. So I still feel like I have a gray cast, like here and here. And so my initial thought was like, oh, I need to get a color corrector. I was like, I just bought a concealer. Like, God damn it. Like, I don't want to like have to get like a whole new routine, you know? I just wanted to get, I'm trying hard not to swear right now. Um, I don't know. I feel like I have a lot of redness here, especially against my neck. So I'm just going in here a little bit, and then I'm not really too fussed about concealing my blemishes. Whatever. Yeah, I just feel like, I just got this. I don't want to have to get another product to make it work. Um, and because I don't really wear base makeup that much daily anyway, I feel like it would be strange. It would look strange to the eye, I think, to have like perfect under eyes and like nothing else on the skin. So I don't know. I think I'm just gonna keep um, wearing just the concealer on its own for now, especially because I wear so little. I don't know about this placement I made here. This is you can see it's a little bit too light. I don't know. I probably, if the shade in between, so this is shade 2. If the shade, okay, I don't like this here. I was trying to conceal this and then the redness, and I feel like I just turned it like light pink. I think that's probably just on the shade. Yeah, so I feel like if shade 3 hadn't been the wrong undertone, that probably would have been my shade, I guess. I probably could have, if I had both shades, maybe that would have been good, but. Okay, so I kind of brushed it out more under my nose here, and I like how it's looking there better than how it's looking on my chin. Maybe I put too much on. I don't know. I feel like I'm newer to concealer. I used to wear concealer in like 2019. Um, I wore the one from Elate Cosmetics. I don't actually know if Elate is still in business, but it's like a zero waste brand or a low waste brand. I actually still have a palette from them. I use it a lot. I have it right here. I'm actually going to use. I'm going to use. Where are we? Yeah, I'm going to use the shades that I have in here today. I like to use this palette because of the clear window. But yeah, so this is made from bamboo, and they have a lot of like bamboo packaging, and they sold their concealer. I don't know if they are still in business or not, but they sold their concealer in like a pan, just a magnetic pan like this, and I really liked that. So I know I hit pan on it. I don't know if I used it up fully, but I definitely got through most of it. But that was like a creamy one, and I feel like I haven't really used concealer since then, and that was a long time ago. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm like not really liking how it's looking on my chin. I usually do eyes first because that's kind of what I'm most excited about. I'm kind of excited about a new blush placement that I want to try, but maybe I'll still do eyes today. I've been using this ColourPop Daydreaming palette a lot lately. I've been doing like job interviews, so this is my most neutral palette, so this is kind of what I've been using, but I want to use it again. I haven't used this shade Jet Life. It's like a magenta. I haven't used it on the eyes yet, but I also just haven't given this custom palette a lot of love lately, so I think I want to do that. Because the ColourPop palette is going to stay the same, but this is going to come apart eventually, so maybe I'll do a green look here. What else do I want to talk about? I had like a bunch of things I wanted to I wanted to talk about before I got on camera, and now I'm just happy to be doing my makeup. So I'm going, in case you haven't seen any of my videos before, the square pans are shades from the Ensley Rain Flower Moon palette. So I'm going in with this kind of olivey, grungy green shade. This is the shade Lush. And I'm just going to kind of make my crease here. I'm going a little bit above my natural crease because I got those hooded eyes, so I'm looking down a bit. Oh yeah, I guess I used that concealer, huh? So I should probably set this. I have I'm just going in with the Laura Mercier loose powder here quickly just to set this. I do have I have the Kaleidos eye primer. I'm not really a big fan of that one, and I didn't bring it because the packaging, I'm not a fan of the packaging either. And I was really worried about traveling with it. When you open it, I'll put up a picture of what the packaging looks like. It's like a squeezy tube, but I think that it's too... I think that it should be harder to get the product out, I guess. Like, you get too much of it out, I think, basically. And it just like spews out when you open it without even squeezing the tube. And you really don't need that much. If you use too much, then your eyeshadow creases. There's a small airport nearby, so we might be interrupted by airplanes. So I'm going in with Lush here. And Lush is kind of like a muted olivey color, which is also closer to my skin tone, so it doesn't always show up right away. I find on my skin tone, and it doesn't always show up so green. I'm also using not my favorite brush. This is a BH Cosmetics brush, I think. Yeah. I've been wondering about what kind of equipment I should get for this channel, because it feels really like a hobby. I mean, it'll be a hobby for a long time, but like hobbies, you know, they're worth investing in because they make your life better, right? But it feels I think especially because it's makeup, I don't know, there's a lot of nuances here. Like I think because it's makeup, it feels very frivolous, right? I've got the feelings, but not the words. I'm going all the way up to my brow. Okay, well, I'll try to be a little looser with this, I guess. Because I talk about makeup, it feels like it's not important. And I mean, I guess it's not. Like, it is just a hobby, but it's very creatively fulfilling for me. and for a lot of people. And because I'm queer, and I think that I have a unique perspective in the field, I think that I have something unique to bring to make up YouTube, right? And so it doesn't feel frivolous, even though it's fun. But if I'm not careful, it feels like it can be I don't know. The only word that's coming to mind is frivolous, I guess. But really quick, I'm gonna take the shade Renew. This is like I always thought of this as a purple in the palette, and then I swatched it next to a brown, and I was like, oh, this is a brown. But it's like a plummy brown, I guess. I'm just gonna deepen out the outer corners with this, or the outer V. So combined with the fact that makeup is seen as not something that's important in people's lives, to people who like don't get it, you know what I mean? They think it's like superficial. That combined with the fact that, you know, I'm a very small microscopic is even too big of a word, right? Like, I'm still starting out, but I want to make my content better and my quality better. And that's gonna, you know, I want to get better equipment. And I don't really know where to start. And when I'm not remembering why I do this, or why I started my channel, when I'm not feeling very empowered, I don't feel worthy of spending the money on getting better equipment for my channel. Because like, oh, I'm just starting out, especially like, you know, for my folks with neurodivergencies, so I struggle with this with hobbies. This is not. With hobbies, I tend to not really stick with them long term, or it's kind of like off and on. And so because of that, I kind of struggle to want to invest in them. And so that combined with it feels surface level and frivolous and all these things, I don't want to invest in the channel. But then when I don't invest in the channel, it's not going to get better and it's not going to grow. And it's not going to reach the audiences that I want it to reach. So someone's got to give, right? I don't know. It's not like I have really a lot of money to throw around right now. I'm gonna go with this shade. This is Awakening. I don't know how this is gonna pick up, but it is a green to purple duochrome. And I'm just gonna take this with my finger. This is quite sheer. But then there's so much equipment. Like there's several things I would like to improve upon. For a while with my uploads, I've been challenging myself to improve on one technical thing each time. So that's things like adding chapters to my videos, improving my airplane. I'm never sure how to put, like when I'm putting a shimmer on with my fingers, I never really know how to put it on this side. Yeah, so adding chapters to my videos, adding those like cards that go up in the corner. I think they're called cards. Adding those to my videos that reference each other. I've added those in a couple. Things like that. So I've been doing that, but I want to increase the actual quality of the actual file of the video. So that would be things like lighting, sound, potentially a camera. That's probably down the line, and probably separate storage for my videos, like other than my laptop. But that's like a lot, so I'd have to kind of go slowly. And I don't know, I just don't know where to start. There's also like, since a lot of my videos are shot overhead style, getting the kind of, I don't know if they're still called tripods in this case, but like the kind of holder where it actually holds the phone, like actually flat. Can't see. What I've been doing is kind of having my phone in this tripod, like kind of in between my legs. So I just, for the inner corner there, I just went in with this shade from Dandelions. I talk about this all the time. This is Twilight. I don't know if that's gonna pick up, but hopefully it does on my eyes. And I'm kind of thinking about tapping it over the green as well, because I feel like the purple that I see in the pan isn't showing up on my eyes that much, but I don't know. I think maybe that's fine for now. Maybe we'll leave it at that. I also have this shade, Flower Moon, from the Flower Moon palette. And I'm just going to swatch this just to see like maybe if this shows up more purple. This kind of flashes more green actually. But maybe I'll just tap this on top too, just to have some fun. That is what we're doing after all. Definitely added some nuance here. Adding the like kind of pink. I feel like brought out the kind of purpley tone we have here. The kind of grunginess. I like that. I'm gonna just add that to the other eye here. And then I think I might just leave it green on the lower lash line. Yeah, I really like that. And I want to deepen the lower lash line a little bit. So I'm going to take a brown eyeliner here. Where are we? This is just from Annabelle. And I'm going to tightline the upper lash line. I talk when I talk about this eyeliner in my videos, I talk a lot about like barely using this when I use it, and like that's what I mean. Just barely. And then I'm just gonna go in with some mascara, also brown, I think maybe black brown. This is the CoverGirl Lash Blast Clean. I don't know, I just thought the mint color was kind of pretty. Had a little accident there, that's fine. We can pick that off later. And just doing a little bit on the lower lash line. I feel like I can never get my lower lash line how I want. Like I guess I would just want it kind of tinted, I guess. I don't know. I miss having the Glossier mascara. What's that called? Lash Slick? I really like that one. And I'm just going in with a lash comb. I don't know if this is doing much. I feel like the teeth on this one, this is from London Drugs. I feel like the teeth on this one are kind of wide. So I feel like they don't separate that much. I don't know. That's fine. I'm gonna let this dry and then I'm gonna pick it off with the other end of this. I usually do blush first, but maybe I'll do bronzer now. I have the Rare Beauty bronzer in Bright Side. I'm just gonna put some on the back of my hand. And then I'm taking some on like a angled brush. Just because I feel like I go in with too much. And I'm starting up here. My hair is lovingly parted that way already. And I'm going just down and like under the cheekbone. That's why I like this angled brush. I feel like this is looking a little bit orange on me these days, which is kind of funny because it's supposed to, I know people like this one because it's supposed to be kind of cooler and a little bit more green, which is why I picked it up. And on the other side here, maybe. I do think this formula is great. It's kind of like, I mean, for me, like I go in with so little. You know, when you go in with little enough, you can probably not go wrong anyway, but it is kind of difficult to do this when you're holding a mirror, I feel like. And you have to hold your hair. Uh, that's fine. Whatever. Whatever. Let me see if we can take this mascara off now. So I'm just taking like the other end of this is like a fluffy brow brush thing. This might not come off. It's kind of a lot. How do I want to? It's also quite harsh on the like delicate skin. Like this is really this doesn't feel good. But it gets the mascara off pretty well usually. It got most of it off. Like I said, I'm not going anywhere, so that's fine. The bronzer, I have uneven lighting here, so maybe the bronzer looks fine. I think maybe the bronzer's looking a little orange because I just have some redness here. Like I have this breakout here, like always. I don't know what's going on there, but that's fine. For blush, this is what I'm kind of excited to try. So I have Condensate from Phytosurgeons. This is one of my favorites. Probably, well, this is my favorite blush. So what I want to try with this is something that I'm kind of inspired by Evangeline Molly. I will tag her below. But what she does is she does like a lower blush placement, like sometimes even lower than her bronzer, it seems like. And I really want to try it. So what I've been doing for probably a year at least, I think is like, I think I saw, this is from like a Lisa Eldridge video, is kind of taking like the outer, when you look straight into a mirror, going from like the outer iris, I think, and then out, something like that. But then I also would take it up the cheekbone, kind of like a blush draping thing, and especially with condensate on my skin tone, it looks great. And what Evangeline does is more on like the apples of the cheeks, like if I'm smiling, which feels strange, like the apples of the cheeks, which when I drop is like down here, and that feels crazy, but it looks lovely on her. So I want to try that. And like here, like my bronzer is like starting like my bronzer's up here, and then if I am like blending out my blush here, like it's going lower than my bronzer, which feels crazy. But I just want to try it. It looks so lovely on her, and I think, you know, maybe it's time for like a new blush placement. One thing that I'm kind of a little bit worried about is that it's going to emphasize my dark circles, especially with the gray cast I kind of feel like I have going on with the Tower 28 concealer. But, you know, I want to try it. So one thing with Evangeline's blush placement is when she turns her head, to me, it looks like when you see like her, I hope this is like the angle is good on the camera. Like I said, I can't really see. When she turns her head, it's like it's falling off of the curve of her cheek. I just think it's so lovely. So I'm gonna try that. Hopefully it goes okay. I do have the Phytosurgeon Sky Fluff brush. which is made for these blushes, but it's a little bit big sometimes for me. It is kind of pinched. I don't know if you can tell. It's a little bit pinched. I do have with me, though, this is a foundation brush, but it's a bit smaller. This is from e.l.f. Foundation blurring brush, and this might be a little bit better. I think I'm gonna try this. I'm like nervous, but it's just makeup. It's fine. I don't know if I've ever tried this formula with this brush, but Okay, so I'm gonna kind of take a little bit off the back of my hand, and I'm gonna smile. I feel so low. Like, Evangeline also did a video that I'm obsessed with. I've been binging her videos. I know a lot of people have come to her channel. I have to I have to keep doing my makeup. I know a lot of people have come to her channel because of her Penelope Bridgerton video. Which was great. I really liked her Penelope video. I really liked her Francesca Bridgerton video. I thought that was really good. But I found her a little bit before that because I think it was Ivy from Better Than Basic. I'm not quite sure who it was, but somebody else that I follow, another makeup person on YouTube. I can't help but bringing it up here. Someone else I follow on YouTube who talks about makeup shared a video of Evangeline's talking about how she quit her 9-to-5 to pursue a creative, to be like a career creative, and that was the first video I saw of Evangeline's, and I thought that was a really great video. Maybe I went in with too much on this side. See, so this is the problem that I'm having with, that I kind of find with this blush placement for me, is that I feel like it's blending out right where the dark circles start, and I think that it makes the dark circles look darker by comparison. I do like this brush, though. I don't know how well this brush would work with this blush if I was wearing a base product. Anyway, so I really liked that video of Evangeline's. It came out, or I watched it a little bit after it came out, but I watched it when I was also really struggling with a job that was really not right for me. And so that was really, it was really encouraging to watch. I also watched one of the episodes of Brittany Broski's podcast, the Broski Report, about, I think it's called The Tea on How I Got Fired Twice. And she talked about some really, really depressing job experiences. And I was also having a really, really difficult time at my job. And so those two videos really helped me. I will link them below. And yeah, so that was the first video I found of Evangeline's. And a little bit later, she posted that Penelope, I might have called her Penelope Bridgerton. Not quite yet. Not quite yet. Penelope Featherington, for now. From Bridgerton makeup tutorial. Her like glow up at the beginning of season 1. So a lot of people probably have come to her channel from that. But, oh my god, okay. What I'm trying to get to is she also posted this video a while ago about makeup to look like a woman in a pre-Raphaelite painting. And I'm obsessed with that video. I've seen it several times. And one of my favorite things in that video was the blush placement. So I'm along with taking her general blush placement that she does, which is kind of lower, I'm also taking this low. Like I'm taking this down to my jaw. And I'm putting a lot on because that makes me happy. And I've also been feeling like I've been shearing this blush out a lot lately. And into more of like a beige. And I just want more of the purple. I do look a little crazy though. The problem with this little mirror is I kind of get stuck on, like, I kind of get tunnel vision, I guess. I'll do a little bit on the chin just to cover up this like weird concealer thing going on. And then I'm just trying to take a little bit up just to kind of distract from the under eye bags. I don't know if it worked, but okay, here's my confession, and it is that I want to put blush on my forehead. And I feel like I feel like I need to take a step back. I feel like I'm getting a little bit lost in the sauce here, so I think I'm gonna put my blush brush down and do something else for a little bit, and then maybe we'll come back to the blush. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of Evangeline Molly's Pre-Raphaelite tutorial. I watched it a bunch of times, and I love it. So I took the blush down more because of that video, and because of that video and one of the paintings she uses in the thumbnail of that video specifically. I don't know the name of it, but I'll put it up while I rummage in my makeup bag here. So I'm gonna do lips now. Let's see. I have a bunch of new lip products that I've gotten over the past month. I have I feel like I didn't clean my contacts well enough last night. I love this blush. I love this blush. Oh, eyebrows. God. But what if I do more blush around my temples, like how I usually do? I feel like I haven't been penciling in my brows a lot lately, so I'm gonna go in with a little bit of a brow pencil. I feel like when I do this, I don't know if I press that enough to actually get anything off on my skin, to be honest. Like, I don't know if I like that much of a brow look. But I also don't know if it's just because I'm used to how I look without it. I'm scared of it looking different at all. Does that make sense? Is that even? I'm going in with a little bit more of a brow just because we've got a lot going on the face. This is the e.l.f. Micro Brow Ultra Precise Brow Pencil in neutral brown, by the way. I think this is a really good color for me. And then the e.l.f. Wow Brow, also in neutral brown. I've been experimenting with more of a neutral shape of my brows. Like I used to kind of fluff up the tail end of my brow more, and now I'm not trying to manipulate it so much, I guess. One thing I do like to do, which I know is uncommon, I guess, is I hope that you can see when I do this, is lightly go on the hairs that I have in between my brows, because I like a very unconventional look. Because I love makeup, but I love makeup, but I never want to look, I never want there to be perfection in my makeup. So I like to emphasize or give a suggestion of a unibrow. I like that. I know there's a little bit of controversy around her, but what's the word? I'm just gonna wipe off the lip oil I put on at the beginning and go in with the Gone Greige lip liner from Maybelline. This is not greige, by the way. This is purpley gray. Gray. Like there's no beige in here, I think. But what is the word that I'm looking for? The paintings of Frida Kahlo resonate with me. I know that there's, I don't know about controversy, I guess, but there's some discussion to be had about her ethnicity and her use of indigenous Mexican regalia. Is that the correct word? In her portrayals of herself. That's not really what I'm trying to talk about here, but her experiences with chronic illness and chronic pain, which I have chronic migraines. Right now I have a migraine that is a month old. I don't know what the marker of that would be. If I knew anything about like child development, I would make a joke. But I don't know anything right now about child development, so yeah. I have chronic illness and chronic pain. This is Purple Rain from Essence. Great noise. So the paintings of Frida Kahlo that that kind of talk about her experience being stuck in bed and, you know, having experimental surgery, being force fed, yeah, stuff like that. There's two paintings I'm thinking of specifically. I'll insert them, that just really resonate with me in my experience. So, in a way, I feel like adding the unibrow. Yes, somehow I'm still talking about the brow. Feels like telling a story with my makeup. I think I want to put more bronzer on. I think. I feel like I might want to. I'm considering purchasing or maybe mixing my own like cooler bronzer or rosier bronzer. I'm very interested in the Phytosurgeon's bronzer. I know a lot of people have trouble with that. And my teenage contrarian brain loves the challenge. I want to be the one that makes it work. It's so stupid, and I recognize that. It's like I'm embarrassed to say it, but it is what it is. But also, I know that, or I think, I'm pretty sure that since I don't wear foundation, I think that I would maybe have an easier time with their bronzer, because it's like it's a difficult formula. The thing that I like about Phytosurgeon so much is that they, from what I understand, they make their formulas from scratch, right? Like they formulate them themselves instead of getting them from a lab, like a different lab that makes them for them. And that's what makes their products so unique. And that's why a lot of people have troubles with their formulas, I think. Okay, don't come for me. So I'm interested in their bronzer. And since I don't have a ton of experience with other bronzers, and I don't wear foundation, I think that I could make it work. And I like that they have those rosy options. I also really like their moisturizer, and I think that I'm going to be a repeat buyer of that. So I'm gonna be placing orders with them. So, you know, if I'm making an order with them, maybe I'll throw it in. I don't know. I really like this blush placement. I'm gonna powder a little bit, I think. I think I went a little bit overboard with the lip liner. I'm not really liking how that's looking. But I was talking about stuff, so don't blame me, okay? Like, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. I always think about that. I saw it as a Vine. I'm sure it's from some other, like, media. What the hell was I doing? Powder. Of, like, it must be, like, a Kardashian Jenner. I don't know which one. Because I couldn't keep track if I tried. I couldn't keep track if I tried, and that's not really a knock on them. It's a little bit a knock on them, but mostly it's just the kind of brain I have. Does Makeup Forever still make that powder foundation? Maybe a powder foundation is what I should look into. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, that Vine where they're like they're driving and they're like slipping on ice or something, and she's like, "It's not my fault, not my fault." I think about that every time I say, "It's not my fault," and that was from like 2016. It's been like 8 years. Anyway, I wonder if I can blend out this lip liner a bit. I'm just gonna like try to wipe off this concealer brush a little bit and see if I can blend it out a bit. It's just a little bit cooler than I wanted to go. I feel like I'm getting lip gloss all over my face now. But, okay, let's reapply that lip gloss. Should I try a different one? Nah. I mean, okay, so I'm nearing the end of the look. I don't know what else I don't know what I talked about. Okay, I like that better. Yeah, so this is the Essence gloss in Purple Rain. I like that they called it that, and I think it makes me like it better. The fact that they chose to say that this is purple is interesting to me because it's definitely like a cool beige, and there's like some purple and blue sparkles, maybe pink, like shimmer, not sparkles, shimmer in this that just kind of adds to the shine. It's not like shimmery. It mostly just adds to the shine. But yeah, I like that they called it purple because in my head it changes the connotations of the color, and it's like a little bit milky, and I like that. So that's the look. I'm really liking this blush placement. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna try to do more videos with my face in it, but we'll see how that goes. I do like touching my makeup and like, you know, doing that kind of thing more than actually being on camera, so we'll see how that goes. But, you know, the whole point of makeup is to put it on your face, so I'll probably need to be on here more often. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I don't know what I talked about here, but yeah, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.